Hello everyone, it's Baldwin here. So this is the information for the science retakes. These were the four most requested assessments, so I redid them a little bit here. The first one is called geologic time retake. So if you click on this, you're going to make a copy of this document and then just work through the instructions. If you click on this link, we actually did this in class a while ago, so if you didn't do well on this, you're going to need to work through this again. One of the big differences, though, aside from I think I changed a couple of these questions, so make sure you're rereading everything. But the other big change is I got rid of that giant table because it was confusing, and instead I put in some short answer questions. So this says, explain in your own words, why is the geological timeline necessary to our knowledge of evolution? So when you think about like evolution in terms of how animals have evolved from water to land, how does our information on the geo timeline help us with our knowledge of evolution of animals? So explain that in detail. The next one says, explain in your own words how the geologic timescale does or does not help you understand the concept of geology and rock levels. So this one is more or less about the absolute dating and relative dating. When you have that picture of all the different levels, how does the geologic timeline help you determine the age of rocks and layers and things like that? So both of these for your responses should be at least a paragraph long. It should be in like a CER format. So your claim is going to be the geologic timeline scale is necessary because whatever. The second one says this does help because why. This does not help because why. So this last one here should be more than just a sentence or two. The next one is Faces of Earth. This was one of the days we watched videos. So this one is called Faces of Earth Assembling America. So if you go to YouTube, you can watch this video. Um and this is talking about like the assembly of America and some of our city cultures. And then after you watch the video, it's long, it's 45 minutes. You can click on this and then you can take the form on the video. The next one is the adaptations retake. That was a popular one that you guys wanted to redo as well. So what I did was I made like a skeleton outline of a PowerPoint. First thing I did is I linked my notes on adaptations. This was again something we went over in class. So I linked it to this presentation in case you don't have your stuff with you. So this was the PowerPoint we went over in class. You can look through these things. I believe at least one of the classes we weren't able to watch this video. It should work now, so you can watch the chameleon change colors. That was pretty cool. But this, what you're going to do is you're going to pick an animal. Any animal you want. It has to be a living animal. It cannot be something that has been extinct. So you can't do something like a dinosaur or a dodo bird. It has to be something that is currently living. It's going to require a little bit of research on your part, not a lot. So choose an animal and get a picture of it. Put its name in this box, get a picture in its box, and tell me where it lives, like what country or region or part of the globe that it lives in. Then you're going to tell me about a physical adaptation about that animal and how that adaptation helps it survive. So, for example, if we look at that chameleon, the chameleon changes colors. How is that a physical adaptation? How does that physical adaptation help the chameleon survive? Then you're going to choose two behavioral adaptations. So we learned about instinctual and learned behavioral adaptations. You need to pick 2 for that animal. At least one needs to be instinctive. You could do 2 instinctive if you want, but you cannot do 2 learned behaviors. Okay, and again, that's about the same animal you chose. You're probably going to have to do a little bit of research on this. It shouldn't be something that you think would works or something that is made up. You got to find something that's true. Then, identify a mutation. So explain how the mutation can help it, hurt it, or not really make a difference. And I've got some short answer questions for you. Explain what would happen if the animal you chose disappeared one day. 100% of the species is suddenly gone. What are the effects of the region in the ecosystem? Let me know what happens, okay? So if we're talking about a grassland and you pick a mouse, what happens to the mice if they're all gone one day? Well, the coyotes that eat it are going to die off, etc., etc. Then create a different adaptation or mutation. This could be made up. This second part is where you can be a little bit creative and explain how it affects the animal and the ecosystem around it. This last slide is for your resources. So anywhere you get information, copy and paste that link into this last slide. All right. The next one is this fossil retake. This one is a quiz. So I have 2 links for you. The first one is a video on the law of superposition. And I'm actually fairly certain we watched this in class, but if you don't remember it or remember this guy, feel free to watch it. He explains the law of superposition. Then you're going to click on this link, and I have 2 articles for you to read on fossils and the fossil record. They're right here, the fossil record and then agings of rocks and fossils. Once you watch the video, read those 2 articles, you can go ahead and take this quiz. And you have to log in with your Google in order for it to work, because I have to be able to connect a U46 email to it. So you have to log in with Google. Then you only get 1 shot on this quiz, so make sure you're fully prepared for it. And then that was all 4 of the retakes. Now, you can do all 4 of these, you can do 1 of them, you can do none of them. I do not care how many you do, but make sure you're checking your Infinite Campus, because these are where those 4 grades are. So if you did poorly on any of these 4, it's only going to replace that same exact test or summative project. So double check Infinite Campus. If you did well on these 4 and there's something else you want to redo, you need to email me ASAP. So for these 4, again, you can do all of them, you can do a couple, you can do none of them. Now, if you want to do more than 1, that's fine. How do I know you're done with what you want to take? Go ahead and submit on Google Classroom. If you only want to do 1, do the 1, submit. If you want to do all 4, take your time, do all 4, submit. Everything is due by this Friday. Again, if there's any other summative you want to redo and it's not here, please email me as soon as I can so I can create something for you. Any other questions, confusion, please reach out. Otherwise, have a great day, guys.